What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James, shoot!
.com, and we are here for... Dude, my voice is gone.
Yeah.
Huh? It's weird.
Yeah. If you want to find out why, make sure to read or watch our review of The Dark Tower. You can find out why Shu's voice is gone.
But as you know from the title, we're talking about Kathryn Bigelow's, John Boyega's,
Film.
Anthony Mackie's...
Detroit.
Yeah,
this is obviously Kathryn Bigelow being... a very acclaimed director, you know, coming out with Hurt Locker.
James Cameron's ex-wife.
Beating him the year that he same year as Avatar.
That's right.
I remember watching that live and just everyone kept making jokes about him, like, you know, just being so angry.
Well, it's great because these two, they're divorced now, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's great because, you know, he's... Even if you don't like his movies, the one thing I don't think...
Which is I find extremely shocking.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't like him, though, I don't think it's debatable that he knows how to make movies that people love.
Yeah.
And he gets a high critic rating.
Yeah, and he gets people in the theater.
And he gets awards.
People that don't go to the movies go to see James Cameron movies. But anyway, we're talking about his ex-wife. We're talking about his ex-wife who beat him for the Oscar when she won Hurt Locker. She also directed Zero Dark 30, which is a highly acclaimed film as well. And now we have Detroit, where we are talking about something a little bit different than the Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30, which is much more military based and focused, where we kind of talk about the
streets.
The Detroit Rebellion, the riots in Detroit in the late 70s that took place. However, the movie's actually not so much about these riots. It kind of... It is like it takes in the scope of things. It takes place during these riots. However, it really focuses on this singular event that happened at the Algee Motel during one of the nights of the riots, and that's what's kind of weird because the movie I would say about the first 30 minutes we're in the riots. We're kind of seeing this incredible, you know, really, I would even say horrifying like setting of what happened to this. What happened to this place, and then we shift and we focus on the single event for about an hour of the movie, and then the final 30 minutes are kind of the conclusion of those events of the Algee Motel. John Boyega is really good in this movie. I mean, I think acting is really strong. I mean, obviously Kathryn Bigelow, being who she is of course able to really bring these emotions out and really talk about these really, I mean, obviously all of her films have always sparked conversations, debate, either it be about, you know, war and military, and obviously here race, and you know, it's all kind of really channeled, and I think she puts it together in a very interesting way. But I think sometimes pacing and the fact that it's told in that perspective, where we're kind of thinking we're going to be talking about the riots, and we're kind of introduced to these different people, and how we all get to the kind of Algee Motel. Following up with that, especially that third act, especially like when we're kind of saying how everything comes together, it kind of loses its pace. But I mean, and I say that with like, but it was still a really solid movie, a very powerful movie, a movie that will obviously create conversations, and like our screening was filled with different university students who were having a panel talking about that, and that is exactly what this movie is meant to do. It is definitely emotional, it's definitely gripping. There's multiple times in the movie where you're just kind of holding your breath and grasping onto the seats because you're really not sure what's going on, unless you're already familiar with the events. At the Algee Motel, I was not. What happened in this hotel, this horrible thing, and this, it's just completely mind-blowing. Along with John Boyega, Will Poulter, the goofy, nerdy kid from We're the Millers.
And he plays the villain of this, right?
And he definitely plays a villain. I mean, I'm sure...
If the Oscars was tomorrow, do you think he would be nominated for this?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, he was really good in it, but at the same time, it's also kind of a hard role to push, as far as like
because he's such a bad guy.
Because he's such a bad guy, and but I mean, he is really good in this movie, and you see something. I mean, I remember he was in talks of playing Pennywise for It way back when, you know, 2 years ago, and I was like, I think he could do it because I think he could totally change that and just surprise everyone. Well, he's not in clown makeup, and he is scarier than Pennywise in this movie, and you know, there's just a lot of of tense moments, a lot of emotion. I mean, it's a movie that definitely makes you sit and
Who's the
think.
teacher in Doctor Strange? The teacher of Doctor Strange?
She was J4.
No, the teacher. The lady. Bald. The Grandmaster lady.
Yeah. Tilda Swinton.
You know she was originally Pennywise? She was, and then she couldn't do it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Anyway. But no, Detroit is probably my favorite movie that came out this week. We also reviewed The Dark Tower and Kidnap, which you could check out. But yeah, I mean, I walked away to Detroit wanting to kind of have a conversation about these events. And you know, I was moved. I don't think I was really taken as I was with Hurt Locker. I think that I'd agree with most people saying this is probably not the least best of her work, and again, I don't mean that as in like a negative so much where it's like, oh, it's not good. It's just, it's definitely kind of, it doesn't feel as strong as those other two works. But yeah, very good. I think performance-wise, great. Tone is really settling in. I think it's a movie that will really get a conversation going.
People all jacked up.
Well, it is a movie. Yeah, well, I don't know if jacked up.
It's a heavy movie.
It is a very heavy movie.
Yeah.
It'll get you very emotional. Jacked up's probably not the right term, but it will. It is very heavy.
No, like it'll get you jacked up.
I mean,
Not like
it'll
excited.
definitely get you angry.
Jacked up. You're like.
There are a lot of scenes where you get very angry in this movie, and really sad, and really, I mean, it's kind of eye-opening because I think it's one of those situations where you could pick a movie about this, which is, you know, a pretty monumental thing that happened in our country, and a lot of people probably don't know much about Detroit.
I didn't know any about it
during these riots, and it's pretty interesting how things turned. I mean, like Detroit kind of in itself became the end of the world in this one specific place, and it's pretty crazy. So go check it out.
Good stuff. Next week,
Nut Job Dose, Annabelle Creation, and The Glass Castle with Brie Larson.
and potentially others.
And potentially others.
And then
And I don't know if The Lion King
we'll still be playing.
will still be playing, but Lion
But it
King
is
is
playing
playing
right now.
this weekend at AMC Town Square, so make sure to go check it out. Sing-along version as well as regular.
The only one to go to is sing along.
Yes.
If you're gonna go anyway.
Speaking of Chiwetel,
Scar.
yeah,
Holla back.
that sounds interesting. Anyway, next week, this week, go check out our reviews for Kidnap and The Dark Tower. And yeah,
And chasingcinema.com.
Film Lovers website.